The parasocial problem with live streaming.
This whole platform feels like a symptom of loneliness. Like, people want company.
I actually watch your stream so I don't feel lonely.
I'm addicted to forming parasocial relationships with female streamers on Twitch, especially the Asian ones.
The internet that was once an escape from real life has become a platform embodying an ongoing epidemic of loneliness.
Waylon, thanks for 5 subs.
In my last video, I explored the virtual companionship sites like OnlyFans provided to mostly lonely men. And as many of you pointed out, these pseudo-relationships span across the entirety of the internet. Live streaming on platforms like Twitch closely emulates the dynamic of friendship and community between viewers and streamers, creating—
That's like whenever, you know, I get a lot of subs, and I say, we got a lot of subs. Yeah, we got a lot, man. Yeah, yeah, it's great. I say it sometimes on accident, right? But it's definitely like, you know, language like that does contribute to what he's saying here.
The illusion of a social relationship.
Yep.
Viewers are drawn to streamers' personalities and for the opportunity to interact with them, even if they are limited to only using a chat box. A live stream broadcast is not designed for one-on-one interactions. It's designed for an audience. So in trying to make sense of this gap, I decided to interview a few streamers, some large, some small, as well as viewers of theirs in order to explore their perspective on the strange social landscape created by live streaming.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a, it does happen a lot with people. And like, you do get that dopamine hit just real quick whenever you say something, that's in chat and then the streamer reads it and you're like, yeah, I exist. All right, let's go ahead and watch the video.
I've also volunteered myself as a test subject of sorts, as both a streamer and a viewer,
and we're gonna do the mall comp after
psyche
this
on both sides of the screen.
I don't want to delay
when it comes to these screens and the way we interact with them, the relationships between people often shift from being social to parasocial.
Ooh.
The term parasocial invokes images of a creepy, fiendish parasite latching onto you, sucking out your blood, and showing no remorse for whatever damage it may inflict. And in some ways, that's an accurate description. The term was first used by psychologists in the 1950s in reference to the media at the time. Long before live streaming on the internet was popular, television shows, movie stars, and radio personalities played a similar role in captivating the attention of viewers and listeners, who were often drawn in because on some level they felt some connection with the broadcasters.
Where I'm going, you can't follow. What I've got to do, you can't be any part of. Ilza, I'm no good at being noble, but it doesn't take much to see that the problem—
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, like, I fucking hate watching these movies. They're actual trash.
The three little people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world.
In effect, those forms of media were creating a similar environment to what the live streamers of today are. A performative, one-sided form of communication that doesn't facilitate social reciprocity. What I mean by that is, as a viewer, you watch a streamer over the course of many hours, days, or even years. You listen to what the streamer has to say, maybe you even grow to like their personality, and maybe you care for them as you would care for a friend.
I wish I had viewers like that.
The streamer knows next to nothing about you, and does not share the same level of interest in you.
That's true for everybody except me, because I fucking remember everything about everybody. You gotta think about that. And you know the worst part about it is whenever I remember shit about you guys, people freak out about it. That's the weirdest thing, is I think that people like having the anonymity. Because whenever I remember, I was like, oh yeah, you said that one dumbass thing fucking 3 years ago. I remember your bitch ass. Like, that's, I don't know, it's crazy, dude. Not me? Yeah. If you guys told me something, I'd probably remember it. If I ever read it out.
And how could they? To them, you're primarily just a name in a chat box. It's easy to forget that behind
it's more
these
one-sided.
names are real live people.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm watching, you know, like Ninja or Shroud
Asmongold
or someone like that, I'm watching a show. Whereas if I'm watching Asmongold, I'm watching a person.
Live streaming attracts viewers
how about
for
that?
two main reasons.
How about that? That's
Entertainment
crazy.
and interaction. Larger
Thanks, man.
streams with tens of thousands of
Thanks,
viewers tend to
dude.
crank the entertainment
What a
factor
nice
all
guy.
the way up. But it comes at the cost of
Paid actor? Yeah, of
interaction
course.
with viewers.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of social environment do smaller streams facilitate?
I did get a wig, yes. I like occasionally do this thing called a hair worn stream, where chat gets to choose like the color of wig.
Streamers
That's
who
cool.
only have like 10 people in their chat, you actually, for the most part, you become more of kin friends, if you will.
If you're a massive streamer, you're getting that quadruple average digits.
Yeah. Quadruple. That's a lot.
Even if you want to get to know your chat's going like brrrr, like you can't even.
Man, I fucking hate this guy. He sits there with his hair all day. Like, I look at this guy, like, it just, like, every clip that I see of this guy makes me fucking jealous. And he's been on LSF a lot. I just can't fucking get over it. Now, I think the whole, like, small streamer thing, it can be good, but at the, I'm jealous. I'm jealous, yeah. The small streamer thing can be good, but there's like a dark side to it, 100%, man. So there's cool like small streamer communities, and also these like really weird small streamer communities, and it's hard to know which one is which.
It becomes really difficult for you when you're small.
Yeah.
You got two guys in your chat.
Yeah.
And that's their name, just repeating over and over and over again. So whether you want to or not,
I like this stream.
You could be like, yo, chat, what do you think? But it's those two guys. You're reading their names over and over again. You're going to eventually see them as like, yeah, that's that guy. Gamer 57, that's him. I'm slowly starting to get to know him.
With smaller streams, it feels more like a group of people hanging out rather than just getting lost in the abyss of walls and stuff, mostly. But I'm a really, I feel cozy person when it comes to my stream, and I'm open and honest, and I think people
it's good to be cozy.
really like that. Like, I'm not putting on an act, I'm just an exaggerated version of myself.
Kazooie Girl and Bobber WCC are both smaller streamers with active communities. By talking to them and their viewers, I got the sense that they were using the site with a mutual interest in forming meaningful relationships within these live streaming communities.
I feel like that's true. A lot of streamers, they started streaming because they were, basically for me, I started streaming because I was bored. I was bored, and then after the first stream, whenever I made $100, I was like, well, I should do this more often because I want money, right? But I was also just fucking bored. I was like, man, like, what else am I gonna do? And I would just go on to stream. I had nothing else to do all day, every day. And I was like, fuck it, man. Like, let's do it. Let's stream. And it's like, I think some people like the anonymity of a large chat too. Because like they can type out the most vile, stupid shit. And like 99% chance, nobody's gonna fucking read that. But they know they said it. And like that fucking, that attitude they have, you know? You know, nobody will notice the chat's going so fast that I'm gay. You know, that kind of stuff.
It's a great way to meet friends, but not actually like be stuck there if it's an awkward situation.
So it's like almost a social outlet for you, sounds like.
Oh yeah, I stay in my room like 24/7. I rarely try to get out.
I prefer to watch also small streamers like Bobber, where the community can be really small.
Kazooie Girl also shared insight
here
into
we
the
go.
strange expectations new viewers have,
Yeah.
and how Twitch as a platform seems to cater to sex appeal-based streamers over gaming-based streamers.
I do find Twitch definitely favors them over female gaming streamers, if you want to put it, and it is extremely
You know why that is, right? It's because most of the people, like, it sucks. Like, because if you're a girl and you, like, want to be taken seriously for your gameplay, it's hard to have that happen. And, like, there are exceptions, but for the most part, guys, even, like, a girl like this, you know, the first thing they're going to do is come in and, like, fucking ask her some weird-ass shit. And it's like, even if you don't want to be that, the viewers push you into that. And it's because it's a male-dominated platform. Like, most of the people on Twitch are dudes. So it makes sense that dudes are going to want to watch a girl because she's hot. It's reality. And I think like as time goes on, if like Twitch gets more mainstream, that'll become less the case. And I think it's less the case now than it was 3 years ago or 5 years ago. But it's still something that's very prevalent. Yeah, we're weird. Yeah, whatever.
Frustrating. I try not to voice my frustrations over it because I think a lot of people are definitely defensive about like titty streamers and saying they're doing nothing wrong and stuff. Women should be allowed to express their bodies, but I do think there's other places for that, and it's giving Twitch a bad name.
In recent years, Twitch has made itself a welcome platform to more...
I've never really agreed with that at all. I think really if you look at like the amount of people that are on Twitch and you look at like the popular streams, for example, like titty streamers are like less than 1%. Like, I mean, just as like a numerical fact. Like, it's just they're a super, super small minority. And it's like if you want to say like, yeah, one person or two people is giving the whole website a bad name, no, I don't believe that at all. Check now. Just go to just chatting. So what if I go to just chatting and there's 2 booby streamers that are on? Does that disprove my argument that the entire rest of the website doesn't have that? No, that's the whole point that I'm making, is that they have a small minority or a small prevalence inside of one section on a website that is comprised of hundreds of sections. It's completely blown out of proportion.
Sexualized female streamers. The popularization of streamer girls who use their sex appeal as the main draw for viewers seems to bring upon unintended consequences to gamer girls like Kazooie Girl, who have absolutely no intentions of advertising themselves sexually or playing into that type of fantasy at all, and yet that seems to be what viewers on Twitch have been conditioned to expect from all girl streamers.
If I wear like Twitch merch out in public, people will ask me, are you a streamer? And I'll say yes, and they'll be like, oh, are you like one of those streamers? That's like the first question I get. And that's just what Twitch has become now.
I've never had somebody ask me that, which is what's so crazy about it. Like, I mean, like, obviously it wouldn't make sense to me to be like a booby streamer, you know, like, but like if I ever wear something out in public, well, no, I'm not talking about that, but like if people ever asked me if I'm a streamer before, I've never had somebody ask me that in public. Now, obviously, not leaving the house is a contributing factor to that, but I don't really think it's that common. It's kind of odd, honestly. You a bald streamer? Okay. Who's this?
While making this video a fascinating case study directly tied to the abundance of suggestive streamers and parasocial relationships has come to light, and it's worth taking a deep dive into. A hardcore Twitch viewer, Eric Estavio, filed a civil suit against the site, seeking $25 million for regular exposure to suggestive streamers provided by Twitch. It's also worth noting that he sued Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and Blizzard in the past.
Yeah,
and
he's a legal troll. I mean, come on.
Won none of those cases.
Yeah, I wonder
Interestingly,
why.
in the complaint, it is stated that Eric suffers from depression, OCD, panic disorder, agoraphobia, Crohn's disease, and sex addiction.
That's it?
Due to this, he spends all day viewing Twitch streams, following a whopping 786 female streamers and 0 male streamers. He asserts that Twitch has exacerbated his condition by constantly...
This was such a good fucking clip, man. I don't remember if I was there for that or not. That was so fucking good. I remember they were playing Africa in the background. This is amazing. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like the whole, like, the sexual streamer thing, it's like, if you look at the whole platform, it's not really as much of a thing. And I think it's like one of those things where people will like look at a very, very small minority of things and genuinely think that it's like an impactful variable on the website. Whereas like you see like a few people, right? It's like Amarath, and I think she's probably like the most popular one. And like Amarath she doesn't even get over 10,000 viewers. Like there's like literally hundreds, millions of people that go on the website, and like it's like 10,000 people, maybe that are looking at that kind of stuff. It's very small. Well, if you had to look at all girl streamers, 15 million views per day, only a few thousand of us watching taste streamers. Yeah, it's not a fair analysis, I don't think.
playing suggestive streamers to him, which he can't avoid being exposed to when online. It doesn't take a lawyer to figure out that lawsuits such as this one hold no legal weight, but it does serve as an interesting form of activism. Interestingly, this lawsuit, which ultimately is a statement of the power certain female streamers have over men, comes out around the same time as Twitch and YouTube's very own Me Too movement of sorts, wherein dozens of girls in these communities are sharing their stories and ousting men who were allegedly
there's a
involved
Google Doc?
in sexual
Holy
misconduct.
fuck, man.
A few Twitch streamers have already been banned as a result of these stories coming out.
Can we click past
Online
this?
platforms
Okay,
certainly make for a strange and tumultuous type of social dynamic. While more meaningful social interactions do occur,
all right, let's get back. Yeah, let's get back to the good content here.
One of the most popular streamers on Twitch, Asmongold, has a more unique approach, making a point of trying to facilitate as much social reciprocity between him and his viewers as possible.
True.
Asmon, you take ads then.
Oh, I'm taking ads?
You'll take the ads then, Rob.
Fuck, man.
Encouraging interaction and community events despite having tens of thousands of viewers.
True, dude.
I think a differentiation here that you could maybe use for me is that I try to look at people instead of fans, I look at them as viewers, right?
Very true.
It doesn't necessarily imply the same type of worship as a fan does. You know, fan is obviously short for fanatics. So
that's true.
I don't like that. I treat all of my viewers and just people that are watching my stream as just like guys that I would probably maybe hang out with or not. And if certain people I feel are being too attached in a way that I feel is unhealthy, and you know, in terms of like, I guess what you would call a parasocial relationship, that's definitely not something that I want to promote. But I think that having a healthy relationship with your viewers and even having that be a one-on-one thing is completely okay, as long as the people that are going into it both have the same level of expectation.
I'd go and I'd do like a pickup group with Asmon, and like I said, I'd add these people on B-Tag after, and they just over time became like my regular WoW friends, and I wouldn't have met them if it weren't for Asmongold, which I think is something that I can't really say for a lot of other streamers.
But when attracting dozens of thousands of live viewers, there's only so much interaction one person can provide.
I had fears that one day I'm just going to fall off and I'm not going to be entertaining anymore, and that people aren't going to want to watch me, or that people aren't going to like me.
Mizkif is one of the largest streamers on Twitch.
There he is.
Unlike Asmongold and many others, he got to that position in a very short amount of time.
When I feel like people like me, Poke, Greek, XUC, we have this relatability of people that they feel like they could be friends with, people that they feel like they could know, and that makes them more inclined to watch us over other people.
Yeah.
I think the reality is this: when it comes to Twitch, you can never blame the viewers. You can't blame 10,000 people. Like, it's just not a thing. You can't blame your chat for anything, because the reality is you are in control, and you have to be able to figure out what to do and what not to do.
For Mizkif and many other popular streamers, the viewers are a collective known as the chat.
Yeah, they're not really people. They're like a amalgamation. Like, if you guys ever seen like you know how like Thaddeus is like it's like an abomination that's stitched together with like children? Well, chat is basically Thaddeus. That's so you are all Thaddeus together. Yeah, Frankenstein, exactly.
Representing the sometimes tens of thousands of people watching, the chat room is a living reaction to everything a streamer is saying.
So if I put coal there and I put iron there, PogChamps in chat occur.
Wow! There they are!
Interestingly, that audience also seems to attract some viewers with similar goals to the streamer, where being noticed and acknowledged by the streamer amongst thousands of other viewers provides an elevated level of attention and validation they seek out.
There it is.
Yeah, I type a lot. You could ask a streamer like Mizkif or Pokeloss, because they are very fond of me typing a lot in chat.
I wonder if they are.
I'm VIP in there.
What is VIP?
A lot of viewers are sometimes annoyed.
It's pretty fucking accurate, actually. Yeah, okay, it's VIP. That's cool.
By me, or they love me a lot because I can be really entertaining to the chat.
I think having a streamer notice you in chat is always interesting.
Yeah, you feel special.
Makes you feel good or something.
He turned his head, he looked me straight in the eye!
The chat can be a source of great confidence and support, but it can also be a source of great distress and headache.
Whenever they're
as
mean to
Mizkif
you.
explained to me.
But I think some people that really try to get a friend out of me are people that donate to me like crazy, right? Like you'll have some of these guys that gift me thousands and thousands of dollars in gifted subs or in general, and those people...
See, I don't have that problem because I don't read most of the donations. And I never see, that's the thing. See, I don't have that problem because I never read the fucking messages. And like people have to tell me, they're like, man, you just got donated $100. Like, go read his fucking message. All right, fine. Let's go see what David has to say. All right, yeah, thanks, David. Appreciate you, buddy. You know, and that's it. And yeah, I read them all. I miss some of them, okay? And it's not the same type of like direct. Rich can't. Okay, all right, Rich, all right, that's different though. Rich, my man with the 5 subs. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
Want either a lot of attention, which is why they do it.
Yeah.
Or they typically want to be my friend.
Yeah.
Right? They're trying to buy their way into my life.
That's
I've had
weird.
multiple people give me tons of money, and then like, hey, dude,
you want
do me a
Discord?
favor? Can you host me afterwards? Or hey, dude, can you do me a huge favor? Can you, you know, just I answer my DMs, and they start DMing me, and then what am I gonna?
And it's like, cause like that's one thing that happens to me too, right? Is that I'll sometimes respond to people's DMs, man, and they'll be like, hey, man, could you help me, or could you like what's the answer to this question? I'll be like, yeah, it's this. I'm like, so that's cool, man. So last week, I had like this really bad thing happen at school, and pretty much my teacher said that I was a loser, and everybody in the chat laughed at me, and that really bothered me because back in middle school, this happened to me a lot. Because, okay, well, let me explain my relationship with my dad, because this is really complicated, and actually because he had the same relationship with his dad, so it's a thing that's going on, you know, it's like, over and over and over in the chat. Well, listen, I'm on Twitch, okay? Like fuck off. So this does happen, and like the worst part about it is that there's like a certain weird part of me, I don't know if this makes sense, but like there's a certain weird part of me that wants to help the person. I want to talk to them. I want to do this, but it's just there's also like emotional bandwidth that I have a limit on, or like, you know, mental bandwidth that I have a limit on. And I've actually thought about doing, I know this might be a good idea, especially coming from me, I thought about doing a life advice stream where people could call in and ask for life advice from me. And I think it'd be really fucking good, dude. Yeah, and so yeah, how to do things right according to Asmongold. Yeah, wouldn't that be fucking amazing? Yeah, it'd be really, really fun. From you? Yeah, exactly.
You know, I feel guilty that this guy's giving me thousands of dollars, and I'm not gonna just answer his
It's
messages.
weird, isn't it?
But over time,
Yeah.
it becomes more and more and more that they're just trying to bother me, and just trying to get my attention constantly.
Yeah.
And that's not, you can't, just because you give me money doesn't mean I'm gonna be your friend, or play games with you or hang out with you. That's not how it works, you know?
That's like a super unhealthy thing, man. Like I am so lucky in the fact that my audience is mostly like older boomers, and like a lot of us are like past that stage in our life, and so we don't really have that happen as much. But I can really imagine that like for other streamers that have like a younger audience, fuck, man, like that stuff probably happens a lot, and it's kind of weird. You mean kids? No, man. I mean people that are like, you know, like 19 or something, or like maybe 16 or something. It's not really 16. It's not really a kid. It's not an adult either. It's like an in between, and you know they'll reach out to some streamer or something like that because they feel like they have a connection. And it's like, unlike the chess signing at Taco Bell. Well, listen, like as I said, that didn't bother me at all. I was completely fine with that.
My own experiment, having just a few hundred active viewers made it nearly impossible to engage with people in the chat on an individual level. This is where the call to response type relationship with viewers arises from.
Yeah.
How old is everybody
like a
in
preacher.
here? Type your age in the chat. Go ahead.
Oh, you
type your
guys
age
just
in the
did
chat.
that.
I want to know how
Look at
old
that.
each of you guys are. 54, 21, 23, 25. Nice. You guys are kind
Bunch
of in
of
my age range.
Stupid ass kids.
Smart, Ben's game, key emoji, firehouse emoji, upwards arrow, backwards arrow.
I remember whenever he did this. Yeah. Look at him.
This type of communication turns individual viewers.
This feels so good. And like, you guys know this feeling. Have you ever done this with your cat? And then the cat looks up and he's like, and they're like, bitch, I own you. I can control you. I control your mind. I do that to my cat all the time, you know? Like, I'll move my hand and the cat will look up and be like, I made you do that, stupid ass cat. And that's the same thing on stream, except for there's a lot of cats.
Into a collective hive mind.
Yeah.
Even before the popularity of live streaming, this type of linear communication was used by TV shows, especially children's cartoons.
Ooh, my favorite show. I'd watch this in 10th grade.
Taking this a step further, a lot of streamers will use terms like we or us when addressing their chat because they want viewers to feel like they are part of the same collective group as the streamer.
Well, they kind of what we do, and I say we because it is a community thing. It is an us thing. It's not just me. It's we, right? Because I can't.
I never noticed it, but Train's nose is really big. Like, it's really big. And I don't know what it is. I noticed that, man. And yeah, I've never seen it. Well, no, I don't really mind the Wii in a lot of ways because I think the Wii is only bad whenever you're using, like, in terms of like Wii, in order for like a streamer to manipulate their chat into like doing something that is like exclusively beneficial for the streamer. You know, I feel like that's bad. But like saying we in general, I think is okay because we is usually a shared term that makes sense. I mean, a lot of us grew up in the 90s or like maybe the late 80s, early 2000s. A lot of us might remember before we had internet. Like there was a time before the internet, gentlemen. And you remember like maybe whenever you had to call your friends on the phone. You remember whenever you would go to your friend's house without calling them ahead of time 3 days in advance before they cancel on you 5 minutes before they're supposed to show up? And you remember this. And this is a shared experience where you would go outside and you would go out. And I think this is a we because this is a shared experience that will never happen again. Like this is like before and after electricity. It's before and after television or video games. It's such a massive cultural shift that I do think that, you know, at least in my case, there is a we. And I don't know. Like I think that like I think what Glink is saying is true, but I think there's more to it than that. It's not just the community. It's more than that.
I can only do half of it. The other half is you guys coming in and watching. Right?
There it is.
We need our handy dandy notebook.
With the Twitch Prime, we hit 15,000.
Holy shit.
We're going to the bear's house with a very sleepy bear.
However, despite this type of language, the streamers are very much in their own social bubble. Popular streamers are on a virtual stage, and the audience is watching from their seats. If your job was to broadcast for several hours every single day to thousands of viewers, you too might develop an unhealthy view of yourself in relation to others.
Lost all of my connections to people, so I just very lonely a lot. It's sad, but that's just how it is.
Jeez, man.
When you got to make a lot of sacrifices, and if you're not already in a relationship before you start streaming or during streaming, then it's really hard to find someone new when you haven't been outside in a very long time.
You know, streamers in general, and I think YouTubers are in our own bubble because our world does revolve around us. As much as we don't want to say that, it does.
Yeah.
And you know, I stopped talking to my grandma as much as I wish I did, and she died recently, and I was like, crap. Like, I definitely should have called her more. I definitely could have done more stuff, but I'm just so obsessed with my job that it stopped that. And then I also don't call my family as much because of streaming constantly.
Having thousands of people.
That's definitely something that I did for a while, and now I'm kind of at a better balance. Yeah, I mean, like, it was... Because, like, you get so focused and fixated on succeeding at something or doing something or the process of doing something or just, like, an event or something like that. And such a shit excuse takes 5 minutes to follow your grandpa. Well, what I mean is, like, just in general, I think streamers do isolate themselves. And it's not healthy. Like, I've tried to make more efforts to interact with more people in real life and, you know, hang out with some of my real life friends more and do more things together. And it's something that's really important. I think that if the streamer, like, if you have, like, a real life support group, especially if it's people that are separate from the streaming culture, I guess, I think it really helps streamers. And if you have, like, those real life friends and you start streaming, it's really important to make sure that you maintain those relationships and you stick with them. It's super important. I think it's probably one of the biggest differences between, you know, people that burn out and have, like, mental problems and people that don't, in a lot of ways. And maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I think a lot of other people probably had the same experience.
People regularly watching you also tends to make them very invested in your personal life.
These viewers became obsessed with our relationship. Obsessed. I can't relate to that. And I hated it. I absolutely hated how obsessed these viewers came about my relationship.
Yeah, I can't relate to that at all.
I didn't realize how much of an impact it would have. And a lot of YouTube channels started to take our videos and were like, oh my god, Maya and Mizkif talked, and they were getting like 250,000, 500,000 views. Oh my god. And all it was talked about on live stream fails and Twitch was me and Maya. Yeah, it definitely affected my community pretty hard.
Streamers are...
same shit happened. Like, I remember... Robin. Like, oh my god. And that was so long ago. It, like... Oh man, and then fucking, I guess everybody was cool with Cora. Like, we weren't dating, so it was like kind of a different thing. And then, like, with Izzy, I think everybody, like, that's recent enough to where I don't even need to tell you guys what it was like. But yeah, people were really weird about that, and it happens to a lot of streamers. I've seen it happen to, what do you call it? I've seen it happen to, like, I remember it happened with Soda to an extent with, like, Leah, where, like, his viewers were really weird about that. And then, like, Mitch, whenever he was dating Mira. And I feel like almost every streamer, whenever they get in, like, a serious relationship, there's, like, this weird thing where, like, their chat, like, shits on their girlfriend. And then the streamer gets put in this, like, really weird position where it's like, should I defend my girlfriend or make my chat happy? And it's, I don't know, like... It's very, very weird. And I think almost it's like Reclon Blue. Yeah, there was that one too. It's like almost like if you have a girlfriend, then you're not their girlfriend or you're not their boyfriend anymore. So fuck you. And I had a lot of people, you know, that acted weird about that whenever I started dating Izzy and Robin too. But I think ultimately, if you just approach it, and this has always been like my my perspective on it, especially now recently, is I just approach things as directly and honestly as possible. And I think that viewers, even if they disagree with the way that you look at it, they'll respect it the most rather than trying to tiptoe around it or talk around what the real problem is. And you just approach things and you say what the direct issue is and, like, what you have a concern with. So, like, if somebody's doing something in my chat that I don't like now or whatever, I just call it out and I say, stop doing this, please. And usually it happens. And I think people respect that a lot. And I also respect that a lot. And it just creates it creates a better atmosphere.
Just one of many
you
different
after
types
this video? Yes,
of
you
celebrity
after
to
this video.
experience these highs and lows. A celebrity's ego and sense of importance is inflated by the attention of others,
yeah,
while
of course
at
it
the
is.
same time their personal life evaporates away, being absorbed by that same attention. I spoke with one final popular streamer who has a trait that separates him from his peers. Connor Eats Pants doesn't just tell his viewers that he's one of them, he actually embodies that role without showing his body at all. Connor doesn't use facecam on stream, and so the level of separation between him and his viewers is far less.
I'm the everyman streaming, you know?
I feel like maybe in some way not having a cam makes it more of like a like you feel more involved, like you're active, like you're seeing your chat messages go on the screen with other people. It's like this isn't just watching Connor, this is a group of people enjoying this and making the stream happen.
The way Connor got into Twitch also...
I like no cam streams. I think they should be more popular. I like no cam streams a lot.
Also seems to reflect the reasons many of his viewers have done the same.
The reason I always came to streams is the same reason that I stream. I came to streams because I wanted either something on in the background, something that is funny, in a chat that I can mess around in. Basically just forget about my day and relax and have a good time. And so now I try to provide that same thing to others. And so my intention, I would say, is never to have people unhealthily live through me, I guess. I've always put out my stream to be for people like me.
As a viewer, Connor sought out Twitch because it was an escape from his real life. But now, as a streamer, it's the real world, which he occasionally feels the need to escape into.
It's almost on a reverse now, where like I get afraid if I ever screw up online, I want to be able to escape back to my real life and just turn off the computer or something. I mean, that's how
you can do that. Yeah, you do that easy. Like, yeah, if I have a bad day, you know what I do at the end of my stream usually? Is I go, like, I bought like a huge stockpile of Easter candy for the rest of the year until they bring the, so basically there are 2 times a year that I buy Reese's peanut butter cups. There's during Easter and also during Christmas, because they sell the Christmas tree Reese's peanut butter cups for Christmas, and then also the egg Reese's peanut butter cups for Easter. And so what I end up doing is, as soon as they introduce the Easter egg candy, people always buy these first. So I go to the store and I get about 20 or 30 bags of Reese's peanut butter cups, and that's my 6-month supply until the next Easter or the next Christmas runs around. And so every 6 months I have to, I guess, like refresh this supply of large Easter candy or Christmas candy, because I feel like the ratio of chocolate to peanut butter inside of those Reese's peanut butter cups that are the seasonal ones is more preferable to the original ratio of peanut butter to chocolate in the normal Reese's peanut butter cups. So because of that, I buy them all in these 2 different times of the year. And so I will get one of the bags and I will eat one, and I will sit in the backyard and basically fucking fight mosquitoes off until I get mad enough and I go get food. So I do the same thing. Well, I mean, I go outside. I don't know why I brought the Reese's peanut butter cups thing, but like, I mean, that's, yeah.
Obviously a fear. Not that I do anything bad, but you know, you see people just get absolutely destroyed on the internet for a mistake, and it's like, oh man.
Yeah.
Like that's a scary thought.
And that same escapism is what fuels the desires of many Twitch viewers who spend significant portions of their lives sitting there, watching streams and trying to participate in these online communities.
How much time do you spend on Twitch, like on average a day or a week, if you can estimate that?
Probably like 4 to 5 hours a day, so
that's not that bad.
A week would be 35 hours, because I try to avoid people like the plague.
I do spend a good amount of my time watching streams. Back when I was like playing WoW, I'd have them on in the background, especially Asmongold. So
see, what the fuck did I tell you guys? I knew people watch this shit in the background, man. It's always in the background. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. They have it in the background, second monitor, just chilling, and we're doing whatever the fuck, man.
Be on for a long time.
I think over the past 3 years, I've used up a lot of my time on Twitch, and it's made me feel very, very different, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I've lost a lot of time just sitting there trying to be dedicated to Twitch channels?
I would say that having friends is way better than having the attention, because you have people that you can actually talk to and get good attention from, instead of like the attention for like 2 seconds that you get that doesn't really mean anything.
The experience of these viewers isn't so different from...
Yes, this is true. It's better to have friends than be noticed by streamers in Twitch chat. This is very true. Now, not something that a lot of people want to admit, but that is true.
Connors, it's not so different from Mizkif's, and it's not so different from people I know who spend all day watching streams or videos.
Jesus, man, that's
and
crazy.
That's not to say that spending time online is always bad, or that there aren't great things that can come of your time spent in these online communities, because there certainly are.
And then over time, it's like I was part of a bunch of groups. I found a bunch of amazing people. I ended up incredibly luckily meeting an amazing like group of streamers. It got to the point where we've met together like at least 10 times easily. We go to conventions together. I realized that the name is behind the screen.
I think this is at TwitchCon, right? Yeah, this is at TwitchCon, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, maybe it's not.
Can turn into an actual real life friend. There's no difference between real life friend and like name on screen. You can reach the same level of intimacy.
Forming meaningful relationships online is possible. I myself have made many good friends after spending years of my life in various online communities. I've even met friends in person many times who live thousands of miles away, and some of my closest friends are online friends. But admittedly, forming long-lasting relationships can be difficult. The physical distance between people online will always add an extra layer of separation.
But it's the same way, you know, I've got a lot of close friends. I mean, we got McConnell, you know, we got Rich, Asmon, and like I've met these guys and like Train. Like these are people I like talk with and hang out with all the time, you know, and then I have like other different levels, but like that's like, you know, like inner circle of people that I talk to pretty regularly. And I don't know, like it's cool. Like I feel like, yeah, there's a dark side to it, but there's also a pretty big bright side too.
In my own life, where I work and communicate with others online, it's a daily struggle to balance time spent looking at screens and time spent in the present. Underlying the issue of online parasocial relationships is a global shift in human communication that no one was prepared for. The world has changed so much, but people have not. We still seek out communities, companions, and camaraderie, even if it's through a screen. The social opportunities that were once afforded to the previous generations have all but eroded away. Social gatherings, public venues, and face-to-face interactions that were once the foundations of community are rapidly fading away in place of more logistically efficient methods. The people and place.
Yeah, it's like you don't go outside anymore. You talk to other people and decide if you want to go outside. It's kind of like a weird way of looking at things. I mean, every once in a while, like, I mean, right now, obviously with like the whole fucking pandemic thing, you know, you're not doing it at all. But before then, like you'd occasionally go to the park or something and like see people playing basketball and play with them, but it like wasn't the same as it used to be. And maybe it's just because we're older now. That could be it too.
Pieces of the past are the virtual friends of viewers today. Humans themselves are slowly being written out of the equation. The great challenge of technology and our time is in emerging from the chasm of isolation, which is so easy to fall into, and instead form connections that we can find meaning in.
We have no Great War, no Great Depression.
I love this fucking movie.
Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives.
Topics like this interest me because for years I've experienced what I'm talking about, and I know many others who have as well. I've been a viewer, I've even been a streamer, but I find the most meaning in making these kinds of videos, even if it takes the most amount of time and effort to do. I don't have any sponsors. I actually think that they cheapen the message of a good video so I might as well sponsor myself. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to all the patrons who support me, which you can see here. And I would also like to thank everyone I interviewed: Mizkif, Asmongold, Connor,
Why they have to
Kazooie
use
Girl,
that picture?
Bobber, Ant Plays, Zaz, Poco, and Peter. I will be uploading some of these interviews to my second channel in full, and they were very interesting, insightful conversations that I think
He's
you'll
talking
enjoy.
about the one
I
with
also
me.
want to give a shout out to my friend VH21 for helping a lot with research and finding clips for this video. And I want to thank you guys, the viewers, for watching my stuff and supporting me in any way that you can. Until next time, I wish you guys the best of luck on your journey through the internet. Just don't spend too much time watching other people.
Unless it's me. And like, yeah, the video was good, man. It definitely was good. I liked it a lot. I thought that it came together really well, and it made a lot of sense. I don't know, McConnell, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think this topic itself is really, it's gonna be a very big issue in the coming decade or 20 years.
Yeah.
Because we don't know the full, we don't really know the full ramifications of all this time that we're spending online and not really socializing in real life. Like, I feel like a lot of people, I mean, maybe I'm projecting, but I feel like a lot of people don't socialize as much as they could or should. And I don't think those effects, the negative effects, are going to be seen for a long time. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
It was a really good video. I liked it a lot. I think that it just came together really well, and overall, like, it's a necessary video, I believe, for our community and for people to have like that level of awareness